a key fault line between Russia and the West is about to be tested. A major election this Sunday, 28th of September, could determine the result. Moldova is on the verge of joining the EU, a problem for the Russians.
When they attack me, they attack the EU, the values that the EU symbolizes.
President Maya Sandu's pro-EU government must face off pro-Russian parties who want Moldova to stay out. With all to play for, desperate measures are being deployed.
Cei de la guvernare se tem că își vor pierde funcțiile, își vor pierde privilegiile.
These guys, they might be paid protesters, that they usually get paid for participating in this kind of protests.
Moldovan state intelligence accuses Russia of spending record sums to fix the outcome.
Deci, noi vorbim de sute de milioane. Noi am documentat pe aeroport doar într-o zi $1.1 million.
BBCi goes undercover to expose how fake news is shaping Moldova's future.
Почему мы это делаем? Задание дали. Стоп. Задание дали всем бригадирам.
У нас работа, эта работа оплачивается, давайте я вам скажу, она оплачивается напрямую с Москвы.
Is Russia trying to rig Moldova's election?
Я слышал в этой неделе, что наша президентша кое-что купила в Америке у 3 геев. Пускай раздают своим всем полицейским, судьям и пускай раздают тем карабинерам, которые не пускали сегодня митинг.
Russia doesn't want Moldova to be part of European Union. And Russia considers us as part of its influence zone.
Moldova, a country of 2.4 million on the edge of Europe, narrowly voted yes to joining the EU last year. In a referendum marred by extensive allegations of Russian interference.
We have proved that protesters were paid. We infiltrated among them.
During 2024's referendum, reporter Natalia Zaharescu and her colleague Mariuța Nistor exposed how Moldovan citizens had been paid to protest against joining the EU. She suspects it is all happening again.
These guys, they might be paid protesters. They usually get paid for participating in this kind of protests. They can be aggressive sometimes if you ask them questions they don't like. They are infuriated because they were told to be so. They are not just paid, but they are also full of Russian propaganda. People had received money from this Russian bank, and this comes from this group coordinated by Ilan Shor from Moscow.
Moldovan authorities blamed one man for coordinating electoral interference. Convicted criminal and former politician Ilan Shor. Back in 2014, approximately $1 billion was loaned from 3 banks Shor had a stake in to 5 Moldovan companies he controlled. Records of the transfers were mysteriously destroyed and the debts written off. The government had to bail out the banks, leaving taxpayers to foot the bill, a debt equivalent to 12% of Moldova's GDP. Shor was sentenced to 15 years in prison, but had already fled and now lives in Russia. Now, with crunch elections approaching, Shor has taken the gloves off, openly offering to pay for protests against the government.
Начиная с субботы, все те, кто поддерживают наше движение, все те, кто поддерживают наш призыв, начнут получать зарплату в $3000 в месяц.
the authorities have called Shaw's offer of payment blatant election interference. Moldova's most senior police officer, Viorel Cernăuțeanu, believes that record funding is being smuggled in to swing the election.
Noi am documentat pe aeroport doar într-o zi $1.100.000 care încercau să fie introduși pe teritoriul Republicii Moldova, iarăși de această grupare, pentru finanțare. Anul 2024, doar în luna septembrie, pentru procurarea voturilor, deci au fost documentate $39 de milioane. Anul curent, eu cred că noi depășim aspectul de finanțare și corupere a alegătorilor, spectru care este asigurat de această organizație criminală. Deci noi vorbim de sute de milioane.
Throughout the campaign, BBCI reporter Anna has been undercover. She's trying to infiltrate an apparent new phase in the operation, a fake news network.
A fost nevoie să mă mobilizez. Este un rol în care trebuie să ies din zona mea de confort și să ofer întrebări care pot fi provocatoare.
4 months before the elections, we obtained instructions to join a private, invitation-only channel on Telegram, the secure messaging app used by the network to organize its activists. So Anna poses as a would-be trainee. After passing the vetting, she gains access to the channel. It's called Electoral Hackathon. Inside are 35 recruits who are invited to attend online lectures on how to become paid election influencers while posing to the public as volunteers.
Друзья, всем добрый вечер. Очень приятно, что кто-то наконец-то решил заняться воспитанием других.
One of the speakers is Vyacheslav Valko, a Shaw ally who was sanctioned by the EU this year and has been linked to Russian intelligence operations in Europe. On completing the course, Anna receives a direct telegram message from one of the organizers, a woman called Alina Zhuk. Online searches reveal she comes from Moldova's breakaway pro-Russian republic, Transnistria. Instagram posts also show regular trips to Russia. And then we discover that Alina appears on the website of Evrazia. This is the oligarch Ilan Shaw's banned campaign group, and she's described as a leader. She has a job for Anna: conduct opinion polls about the election on the street. In return, Anna will be paid 600 Moldovan lei, or £25, for each poll completed. But Alina is tight-lipped about who they're employed by and where the money comes from.
Как ваши дела? Скоро будем работать, чай. Готово?
Alina had arranged the meeting at an office in the capital city Chisinau. Proceedings are led by a Russian voice on speakerphone.
Прекрасно, прекрасно. Рад всех приветствовать. Меня зовут Лука. Я один из тех, кто будет помогать нам в эту большую кампанию, на самом деле целью которой является повышение узнаваемости партии Молдова Мare.
Moldova Mare is a pro-Russian political party.
Просим вообще внимательно относиться к тому, что я говорю, к тому, что говорит Алина, как координатор, да? Это лицо партии. Вы это люди, которых встречают на улице незнакомые люди.
The party's policies are from a familiar playbook, promising to make Moldova great again, but using an anti-Western platform.
Это тоже компания, где обычные люди гадают, которые за нормальные ценности, за обычную семью, против ЛГБТ, которые хотят строить свое счастье, строить свою жизнь, исходя из того, как они ее видят, а не как им навязывает чуждое большинство и чуждая идеология.
They will be told to say they are from Polster's free democracy. But their questions will attack the government and promote Moldova Mare and their candidate, Victoria Fortuna, known for her close links to Russia.
Вообще наша партия в рамках закона, мы не призываем к чему-то противоправному. Если вы знаете, Виктория Фортуна как раз из правоохранительных органов, да?
A former anti-corruption prosecutor, Fortuna resigned while accused of leaking data from a criminal investigation.
Nici unul din pericolele securității statului nu am săvârșit. Este un precedent periculos.
The case never went to trial, and 18 months later, Fortuna is now running as an MP for Moldova Mare.
Țara noastră va deveni mai bogată, mai puternică, mai liberă.
The network we've infiltrated is clearly backing Fortuna. But where's the money coming from? We asked Fortuna's deputy if their party has links to oligarch Ilan Shor.
Între Partidul Politic Moldova Mare și grupările criminale, cum ar fi Ilan Shor, nu există absolut nicio legătură.
Igor claims that the whole fake news narrative is a conspiracy.
Narativele legate de o presupusă legătură cu Ilan Shor sunt inventate. Cei de la guvernare se tem că își vor pierde funcțiile, își vor pierde privilegiile și din acest considerent promovează astfel de narative.
A week after the briefing, Alina invites Anna to take part in her first polling event.
Это просто наши ребята, и все. Да.
Аню вы знаете, она с нами была.
Alina briefs them over lunch. The recruits have been given a series of questions to ask while polling members of the public. They are told to secretly film those who talk to them.
Именно видео? Да. Но не все соглашаются.
Не, мы не палим. Знаешь, мы держим эту планшетку и вот так телефон.
Lunch is over. Alina hands the group a questionnaire to be answered by members of the public. It says they are from the European Centre for the Study of Public Opinion, Free Democracy, an entity that does not appear to exist and is not registered with Moldova's Electoral Commission, making their polling illegal. The team are asked to read out questions that contain known falsehoods about the PAS government.
Partidul PAS susține lichidarea Moldovei și aderarea la România. Cum vă raportați la această idee?
After the polling, Anna is added to another private Telegram channel called The Brigade, along with 6 other newly appointed group leaders, overseen by Alina. Then Alina calls with another job offer.
Там лица свои не надо светить, не нужно там свое настоящее имя писать. Публикуем, они каждый день дают нам тему. И мы делаем в ТикТок, Фейсбук. Я тебе дам сейчас контакт этой девочки, и все остальные моменты вот с ней обсуждаешь.
Ну, что-то конкретно это не можешь сказать, только через эту девочку,
Ну,
да?
я могу сказать 3000 лей в месяц.
Угу.
Anna will be paid £130 a month to create social media profiles and put out daily posts.
Da, salut, doamna Ana. Eu mă numesc Milena și sunt curatorul proiectului care va transmis doamna Alina. Da, uitați-vă, proiectul nostru se numește InfoRM. Punem în canal, postăm tema.
Da.
Și pe tema aceasta trebuie să faceți postare. Două principale, asta este Facebook și TikTok, iar pentru bonusuri adăugătoare puteți lucra și pe Instagram.
And then Milena reveals a vital piece of information.
Ce legat de bonusuri? Uitați-vă, noi transmitem bonusurile prin cardul PSB. Sau să vă facem cardul PSB, sau să vă transmitem prin cripto. Dacă voi aveți cripto, noi putem prin cripto să vă transmitem.
Milena confirms Anna will receive a payment from PSB Bank in Moscow, owned by the Russian state, under international sanctions and linked to Ilan Shor.
Marea majoritate a finanțărilor vin prin sistemul PSB. Această bancă PSB, administratorul acestei bănci este viceministrul apărării din Federația Rusă. De fapt, este banca care a finanțat și a întreținut practic toate zonele ocupate din Ucraina, zonele aflate sub ocupația Federației Ruse și sub asediu de război.
After this, Anna is instructed to create a series of fake Facebook and TikTok profiles and given daily instructions on posting, talking down the current government, or supporting Shor's paid protests. Many of the requests contain outright lies, and a number focus on salacious allegations made against Moldova's president, Maia Sandu. You still seem to be the target of a lot of that disinformation. Why is that?
Many people see me as the person who works hard for Moldova to become part of the EU, and when they attack me, they attack the EU, the values that EU symbolizes.
How significant is the impact of all this disinformation?
Unfortunately, we see that this can be very damaging. Russia employs people to produce content which is false, which is disinformation, propaganda, and then to spread this. There is very clear proof that this is a system which is coordinated and financed by Shor. Of course, this is not just Shor's money, it's very clear. Shor received this money from Russia and then used it against Moldova, and we understand that.
Just as the election campaign was about to begin, the network we have infiltrated suffers a major setback. Moldova's Electoral Commission blocks 4 parties from running. For Alina's influencer brigade, this means their candidate, Victoria Fortuna, is suspended from running in the election.
Так, рассказывай, ты что сегодня делаешь?
Я сегодня завтра автор сбился.
Ага.
То в Кишиневе. Вот. Это автор очень важный.
Угу.
Потому что, я считаю, создался новый патриотический блок.
Угу.
И очень важно для нас оно. Поэтому надо выложиться на все 100.
На все 200, да?
Alina and her backers have pivoted, switching their support to a new socialist group, formed only days earlier.
Да. Давай, мой... Вот этот Либрариус.
With Moldova Maris suspended, Alina and her pollsters are now canvassing for the Socialists, the new patriotic bloc.
Здравствуйте, меня зовут Алина. Уделите пару минут вашего времени. Все, давайте. Всем удачи.
They poll the public for several hours. Then Alina calls for a final group video to promote the event on social media.
3, 2.
Молдова за честные выборы!
Здравствуй, страна! Зовут Молдова. У нас важная новость. Чтобы не было фальсификаций и выборы прошли честно, наша гражданская платформа «За честные выборы» проводит информационный марафон.
The network is racking up views online, but 3 weeks before the election, it suffers another shock. Natalia Zaharescu from Moldovan newspaper ZDG breaks another story. She's infiltrated the same group we're in.
O nouă investigație a ziarului The Guardian, jurnalista Natalia Zaharescu alături de noi, cea care pentru a 3-a oară...
She was invited to the same Telegram channel as Anna, as part of the first group of trainees.
Informații așa încât am ajuns și eu să fiu sunată alături de alți activiști ai acestui bloc. Iar cei care instruiau, după modul cum vorbeau, vorbind rusește, ne putem da seama că sunt din Federația Rusă.
Natalia has a recording where an organizer appears to admit where the money for the social media campaign comes from.
У нас работа, эта работа оплачивается, давайте я вам скажу, она оплачивается напрямую с Москвы. Это не оплачивается от блока, это оплачивается с Москвы.
The foreign financing is illegal when it comes to political parties and when it comes to campaigns, election campaigns. But what we have seen recently is unprecedented. The use of money became more aggressive since Russia teamed up with Shore's criminal group. Last year, we estimated an equivalent to 1% of Moldova's GDP, which is a lot. And we understand that this year Russia plans to spend more in our elections because there is more at stake.
There might be record numbers being spent on this election, but Anna still hasn't been paid by the network. She meets up with Alina to settle accounts.
Я вышла по 5 денег. 2066 лей. Получится 1200 плюс 1200. И...
Alina pays Anna her salary of £100 plus expenses for taking part in 4 polls to date. The BBC donated the cash to charity.
Потом мне доверяют. И 211 за марки.
As they leave the cafe, Anna presses Alina on the purpose of their canvassing.
Все очень просто. Просто объясни мне, почему мы это делаем, чтобы я поняла, почему мы это делаем. Вот задание. Все. Вот задание дали всем бригадир.
Alina reveals her group is just one brigade in a much larger digital army, all with the same marching orders. But who is paying for all of this? The following evening, Anna has an unexpected break in the investigation when she hears Alina on a phone call.
Алло. А в Москве сейчас?
Alina is talking to someone in Moscow.
Да, я это чуть-чуть тоже в Москву еду. Да, мне... Уже не брегу, мне уже нервный клеп.
Alina seems overwhelmed by the task in hand and urgently needs more cash.
Слышишь, а вы можете деньги привезти из Москвы? А кто вы берете какую-то процент? Потому что мне нужно просто мою зарплату.
Anna has caught Alina in the act, requesting money from Russia to pay for her campaigning in Moldova. In her time in the network, Anna has witnessed promises of payment through a sanctioned Russian bank, loaded polling, a sophisticated social media campaign supporting Shore and attacking the EU, multiple people with links to Shore's organisation. There can be little doubt that this is a Shore-linked operation. But is it being done with the backing of the Kremlin? Russian officials continue to insist their government is not interfering in Moldova's elections.
Иносказательное утверждение о якобы вмешательстве России в электоральные процессы выглядит просто абсурдно. Обнародованным результатом закрытых опросов наибольшее беспокойство жителей Молдавии вызывает постепенная утрата независимости республики, ее милитаризация, экономическая деградация и навязывание вот этой самой экстремистской ЛГБТ-повестки. Это все и, собственно, принес стране режим Санду.
Anna arranges a final meeting with Alina to see if she can find out who is financing the network and what its purpose is.
А чей проект?
Я не знаю, Ань. Даже если бы я знала, есть у тебя контакты, кто курировал это все, спрашивай у них. Я говорю, даже если бы я знала, я бы точно не сказала. Поэтому, я не могу. Не могу.
Alina seems afraid to say more. So Anna asks again, what's the fundamental purpose of the polling they've been doing?
Для себя, да? В связи с чем это делается, да? И почему это делается?
Делается для того, чтобы предотвратить фальсификацию голосов. У нас есть телеграм-канал, где сохраняются все бюллетени. И в случае чего мы все, которые проводили этот опрос, после выборов выходим и оспариваем, показываем бюллетени и все остальное.
Alina suggests that if the election doesn't go their way, the network will use its illegal and loaded polling to claim that the vote was rigged. With the election just days away, the polls suggest the results will be too close to call. Russian money may still swing the election.
Вот так вот люди же видят в Инстаграме, в ТикТоке, в Телеграме. Это все люди видят.
Following an appeal, and just 23 days before the election, Victoria Fortuna and her Moldova Mare party are allowed to stand again.
А что за... Подождите. Что за контент вы смотрите в ТикТок? Хорошо. А вам политический попадается?
Да, часто.
И что там говорят?
В основном пропускаю. Не интересуюсь.
Influențează oamenii care poate nu au un nivel de cunoaștere foarte mare și poate care nu sunt la curent cu situația actuală și cu existența acestor fabrici de troll și de deepfake-uri?
For voters, the bitter political wrangling can be unsettling.
Не страшно.
А что там написано, что вам страшно?
Нет стабильности в мире.
But there is no doubt the fake news is being seen. We identified 90 TikTok accounts that appeared to be part of the same digital brigade as Alina. They posted the same messages on the same days as we were instructed to. Moldova's population is only 2.4 million, but these accounts alone received more than 23 million views and over 860,000 likes.
La moment, avalanșa cea mai mare cu care luptăm este dezinformarea și anul acesta a trecut primordial, este TikTok-ul, dezinformarea, respectiv ea, vrem, nu vrem, influențează factorul uman.
Victoria Olari is a disinformation researcher who identifies and reports fake news networks.
What we are witnessing right now in Moldova is not just interference in the elections, but it's a multi-phase campaign to undermine Moldova's democracy. They are trying to make people to not trust the institutions, to not trust the processes, to question the legitimacy of the government and the actions that government is taking. And it's very dangerous for democracy.
With days to go, the polls are still too close to call. The results will be heavily disputed. But whoever wins this Sunday's election, the damage from a tidal wave of disinformation will be felt for years to come.